Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the 196th edition of making sure the microphone is on. 196th edition of Twisted Strands. My name is Jeannie, but you can call me JD, which is my name on Ravelry. We have a group on Ravelry for the podcast. Please feel free to join and chat with everybody there. I love hearing from people, and I do so appreciate you taking time out of your busy days to come see me. I appreciate every view. And if you haven't yet, subscribe, okay? Pretty please? Subscribe. There's a red button down there. Please give it a click and give a knitter her needles. And self-promotion all over now. Let's get on to the podcast. Today I have some knitting, a tiny bit of crochet, a finished object, and stuff and junk. I do have a finished bobbin of spinning, but I left it downstairs. It doesn't look special now. It's just blue alpaca. And I haven't bought any yarn that arrived yet. I did fall down during the Knit Picks sale. They have all that beautiful self-striping yarn, and it should be in before the next podcast. And I realize I'm a little late this week. Sorry, it's been a weird week, so here I am, all ready for you. And I have a bit of a book review, but it's not a knitting book. I hope you can enjoy it anyway. So, what am I working on? Oh, so much things. So much things. Let me gather my things. So, since I did do more work on it, I'm almost at the end of a skein. This is my calligraphy cardigan being worked on using Madeline Tosh, and the stargazing colorway is super pretty, but the rows are getting way long, so I am trudging through. I'm almost at the point where I separate the sleeves. So anyway, the yarn is beautiful and makes it worth working with. It's Madeline Tosh DK weight yarn, and I think size 7 or 8 needles, not sure. Next is the Gladys dishcloth, size 7 needles, pattern by Deb Buckingham, and I hope nobody from my knitting group is watching this. I know you know, but don't. So there. This is Peaches and Cream. Boo. It'll focus sooner or later. Let me do the thing here. Here we go. The hand thing that everybody fucking does. There we no? Alright. Oh, jeez. Now it's not going to focus on me. There we go. So anyway, this is the Gladys dishcloth by Deb Buckingham, and Peaches and Cream, size 7 needles, 4.5 millimeter needles. It's part of her Dishcloth Divas, and I've finished an object that I'll show you in a few minutes or seconds or whatever. So I'm using the same color, black cherry, and let's see. My friend Gretel helped me by picking this up at Costco. I don't have a Costco membership, and it was really super cheap there. I got the Star Wars crochet kit. And needing something to work on in that group, I cast on the little stormtrooper, and I've only done this much. And I know it looks like a French tickler right now. Swear to God, it will be a stormtrooper. It's a really cute pattern, and this is by Lucy Collin. And my next is probably going to be not C3PO, but who do I like? I really want to do R2-D2. I think R2-D2 is a super cute robot, and that is really cute. So I'm going to do that one next. I have the white, I need the blue, I forgot what other colors it needs. Oh, that's it. So anyway, yes, going to make that one next. But right now, I'm just working on the pathetic, silly-looking Stormtrooper. That's it for works in progress. So at least I'm putting a little bit more crochet into the podcast again. I haven't done crochet in a while. Now I have a finished object. This is Nellie, a dishcloth pattern from Deb Buckingham. Same book, Dishcloth Diva. I really did enjoy knitting on this, even though I kind of screwed it up a little bit there. I had to rip it back a few times. I lost count of my rows, but it's got a fascinating textural quality to it. It's got these wedges, and it's not short rows, it's not cables, it's actually just slip stitches. So it's really neat. I know it's kind of hard to see, but a little better there. But anyway, I really did like working on this, but variety is the spice of life to me. So I'm going to make the Gladys and then move on to another one the next time. And future plans. I know I have tons of works in progress, but I realize we're moving away from Halloween into Thanksgiving next week for all of us Americans. And now I want to get into a little bit of Christmas flavored knitting with this Knit Kit in a Box, the Snowman Stocking by Bully Woolies. And I can't find this anywhere on Ravelry or the internet. It's just nowhere. It's like they didn't want to acknowledge that they made this really cute kit. Yesterday I wound up the yarn. I only had to wind up the big red ball there. And unfortunately I had a catastrophe when I was winding it. I also sew, therefore I have thread, and since I started cleaning up the den, there's bits of thread and beading and all this crap everywhere. Just crap everywhere as I struggle to reorganize, declutter, maybe even destash a few of the things that I collected over my many years of crafting. So there's this beautiful green thread, and it was tangled, so I had a tangled mat and the spool of remaining thread, and it was right by my ball winder. And as I'm winding along with my Swift and my winder going really nicely, suddenly it starts to slow down, and it turns out that the thread has caught onto the yarn and has been wound with the yarn, and it was really frustrating. Yeah, it was super frustrating. I was getting really pissed, but I fixed it. I chilled myself out, unwound some of the yarn, and got throughout the wasted thread, and there you go. Life amongst clutter is a little bit overwhelming, and I'm sure many of you understand that. So anyway, I'm ready to go on that. I just need to find some size 8 needles, and I'm having trouble finding them because, yeah. Anyway, this podcast brought to you by seltzer water, as my stomach has been giving me a horrible time with heartburn, and I don't want to take Pepto-Bismol, and I don't even have any to take, so seltzer water it is. So anyway, got the finished, told you about everything crafty that I'm doing, mostly. Let me tell you about stuff and junk. Now, before I start with my little book review, a book I bought this past week, let me tell you this funny story that took place on Halloween. Now, I had a Halloween party on the 1st of November because a lot of my friends who I love they have kids. They wanted to spend time with their kids, and many of them were too busy, and I planned like an idiot. So I had it on the 1st. So October 31st was my shopping day. So we went to the biggest shopping mall because I needed some liquor, of course. And in the front of the cash registers, but set back in the seasonal stuff, there was this giant pool it was inflated. One of those, inflated pools. It was about 2.5 feet high, and it was filled with these gorgeous, fluffy, stuffed teddy bears, and they were huge. They were like 3 feet tall, these teddy bears, and I kept telling my dad as we passed it a few times that I wanted to jump into the pool. Now, I restrained myself until we were just getting done with our massive shopping spree, and there was this gentleman there. He was letting his kids jump in the pool, and I looked at the kids and I laughed, and I said to the man, I really want to do that too. And he said, so go do it. I didn't need to hear any more encouragement than that. And Dad was already kind of skulking away, so he was at a distance. Wouldn't you? Either you'd skulk away or you'd stay and join me. So the man encouraged his kids to give me room because I'm way bigger than a 5-year-old. And once the kids were safely out of the pool, I leapt over face first into the pile of teddy bears, laughing my fool head off. And the kids were all laughing and saying, hey, hi Cleo, you want to join us? You want to join us? And it was awesome. The teddy bears were so freaking soft. Come here. Come here. Oh! Yeah, so Mommy made a silly fool of herself. I'd kiss you, but I got lipstick. You're an awesome cat. This cat has been driving my dad nuts all week. Well, she drives him nuts all the time. So anyway, that's my funny story. I couldn't stop myself from jumping into a pool full of oversized teddy bears, and it was awesome. So that's my story from Halloween. My other story from Halloween. So now, I told you I bought a book, and I saw this article online about these older ladies who never married and lived together in a farm in the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee. So I purchased this book by Rose Hoke. And it's the Walker Sisters of Little Greenbrier. And why I was fascinated by these ladies who lived from the 1890s. Let me see, there's a tree here. Yeah, 1870s, 1850s, 1880s. They were born, and they lived during the turn of the century and into some lived as late as the 1960s, and they never got electricity in their little cabin. They never got running water. They just lived how they wanted to. They were very involved with the agriculture. They did everything in their farm. What fascinated me was they created their own cloth from their sheep and their cotton that they grew on the farm. And there were pictures of them spinning wool, carding wool. They had a loom that they would make their fabric out of. So, of course, that fascinated me. And, here we go. There was an article about them during the 40s, I think, of the Walker sisters, and that's how I found them. A bit of a excerpt from the article, and these are some pictures of them carding their wool and spinning it. And of course, I think they're They're making a coverlet, or a bunch of them. And they all lived in this 2-3 room cottage, and it was a small space. And I liked their story because it was so complex and difficult seeming, but gotta love that they were persistent in their ways, man. I really appreciate them rejecting some technology and forging a life for themselves, no matter how difficult it was. So, yeah. Anyway, I really enjoyed this book, even though it kind of romanticizes what they went through. I mean, they're all like poetry and shit like that, and yeah. Life today isn't even poetry and shit, so take that with a grain of salt when you read history books about people. Nah, shit was hard back then. I don't need to tell you that. I don't know why I am. But anyway, that's what I'm kind of paging through absent-mindedly as I'm trying to make myself close my eyes and go to sleep. Find it interesting. It's got pictures of the implements they used and all that. I like old-timey stuff, and I cannot lie. I also subscribe to Piecework and buy knitting traditions whenever I can, so there you have it. So anyway, what else have I been watching? Well, I knit, crochet, spin. Well, what did I watch? Yesterday I watched this movie called Airborne, and there are a few people I didn't even recognize, and Mark Hamill in it. This is on Chiller Theater, where I watch a lot of my TV during the late afternoon. Excuse me, when I get back from work and we're having dinner, I make Dad let me watch at least a movie or two. So yesterday was Airborne, and it was a story of not only thieves hijacking a plane to steal a precious object, a precious vase from China. Not only that, but also the plane itself. So the plane was being hijacked by these dicks, and then suddenly something happens that lets an ancient god that was trapped in the vase out. That's all I'm gonna say. It's not exactly like a nice god either, so. But anyway, I had to watch it till the end because Mark Hamill was in it. Now, Mark Hamill has changed over the years, like many of us, and his part, I couldn't even recognize him at first. He played Malcolm. And Malcolm was a dumpy, older-looking air traffic controller manager. It was kind of alright, depressing to see this previously dashing man play a dumpy old man that worked in this small air traffic controller area. But still, it was like, oh, there he is. It's Luke from Star Wars. Anyway, I would give that 3 skeins. It's got a lot of gore. It's got a followable plot, which is good enough for me sometimes. It was entertaining. It was good enough. So 3 skeins. Now, the movie I watched today was really not that great. It was called Acolytes, and it turns out I'm giving it 2 whole skeins, and you know why? Because the 2 teenage men in there, so-called teenage, got an itch in my nose, I'm sorry. The 2 teenage leads are very good looking, so that's why Acolytes got 2 skeins. I'm not ashamed to say it either. So it was about a serial killer, and these teenagers find a body in the woods, and they think that the serial killer is at fault for the body. So they blackmail the serial killer to kill someone who is a horrible person and bullied them and treated them. And actually, it turns out later in the film that the bully raped the two younger teens. You know, the two protagonists. He raped them when they were 10, 11-ish. So, yeah. So they blackmailed this serial killer into killing him. But that completely backfires, and it's a whole clusterfuck. And what I didn't like about this story is that the cinematography was horrible. Okay? They kept having these weird-ass flashbacks that added nothing to the movie, and it didn't progress the story forward at all, and it just served to confuse me and Dad. Towards the end, I was saying, what the fuck just happened? What is going on? And, it doesn't tie together really until you read the Wikipedia article on the film itself. So, there you go. If you're confused about a movie that you've seen, read the wiki article on it. Don't go to IMDb. They won't give you the plot. So there. 2 skeins because the guys are cute. Yep. I haven't been watching much Supernatural or anything. I've just been watching these horror movies on Killer TV, which I don't know why we have it now, but I'm enjoying it. So anyway, that's what I've been watching, that's what I've been reading, and I did fall down. I bought, at the Nitpick sale, I bought 3 pairs of socks worth of Felici, and the Knitter's Almanac, I think, or Workshop. Anyway, another Elizabeth Zimmerman book. So I did that. I'll show you those next week. I'm supposed to get it over the weekend or early next week. So, yay! New yarn. I have so much already, though. I might be posting about destashing. Because, yeah. A lot of yarn is good. Too much yarn is... I think I have too much. But besides that. Anyway, thank you for watching. Yes, we've reached the end. The end is now. Thank you so much for watching today. I appreciate it. Again, please give a knitter her needles and click subscribe. I'd so appreciate it. I love all of you. You're all part of my knitting family, and I appreciate you so much. And let me leave you with my favorite parting thought. But I'll see you next week. And whenever you're doing crafting, from the sublime shawl to a simple little beaded necklace, you are making the world a more beautiful place, and for that I thank you. See you in a week. Bye bye.